What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on the situation with Jay-Z, right? And I've been hearing a lot of people just criticize and rightfully so. Jay-Z is trying to get people to end the boycott with Target, right? And I have a different perspective, than what a lot of people. I haven't heard anybody speak about it the way what I'm getting ready to say, right? Because I think that we remember Jay Z when he was with, he went and did the thing for the NFL and said that, we passed kneeling or we passed marching right now. And that really pissed people off, right? And at the time, I think that Jay Z was willing to take that public hit, because of the relationship that he had with the NFL. And you see this with a lot of black people who think that, all right, once you start to get in bed with these big corporations and big business, you don't need the support of your community, the people who propelled you to where you are or put you in a position where as though you can be able to get these type of deals and be in the same room with the NFL or with executives from Target, right? So you turn your back on your fan base, right? And you forget about the people, like I said, who you passed and stepped on the way up. And corporations and the NFL, they understand this and they know this, right? And so when Jay-Z comes forward and he's able to, and well, he tries to speak up for Target and he tries to be on the NFL side, corporations know that. And remember, Jay-Z lately has been having like a lot of different allegations and stuff coming, his way. And so I think Jay-Z is in a position where he has to take this type of stand, or he's gonna have continue to have like legal issues or things that come up and try to really mess up his public image. But part of what this really does to Jay-Z is it continues to alienate him and separate him from the masses, like from the public. Jay-Z is no longer looked at as somebody who's like that's our guy, the people's champ, right? He won't. So if anything ever come down the pike, Jay Z won't have like the public won't really back Jay Z, like because Jay Z really never backed the public. And so when the powers that be, when they're finished with Jay Z, they know that he can't run back to his community for support because Jay Z has he burned that bridge, and that's part of what this is all about. It's about like alienating Jay Z. Now, I do think that Target want business back from the black community, and there's a small segment of people that's going to go back, and start to do business with Target, right? And they probably banking on they think eventually the business will come back, once this these scandals and stuff die down. But in the meantime, they can use this to alienate Jay-Z from his base, from his fans, and then when they go after Jay-Z, he don't have the support of the public. And that's how they do, that's how they do a lot of these big superstars and all. They just alienate you. They separate you from your fan base, and then once they don't have any use for you, then they can go ahead and they can go ahead and destroy you. You look at like what's the guy name? Puff Daddy, right? You look at his case, like people by the time they started like bringing Puff Daddy to court and filing charges against him, like the public was through with him because everything was out there about this guy, stealing people publishings and doing his artist dirty and stuff. So the public was through with him. Then when you look at R. Kelly, like by the time they decided to bring R. Kelly down, the public was through with him because all the allegations that was on him. This is how they always do, and so I think that this is just another play for them to continue to bring Jay-Z down. Jay-Z is falling for it, or even Jay-Z don't even have it. He got to take that gamble because if he don't help, the corporation, they still going to do it because they know that there's a fracture there between Jay-Z and his community. But with that being said, I want to play this lady had a really she made some really good points about Jay-Z and the situation that's going on with Target. And so I'm going to play the audio from her video and I'm going to give some more of my input.
I guess after Jamal Bryant failed to bring us back to Target, they decided to bring in the big guns with Jay-Z. Now, before we get into it, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, do all the things. I'm going to talk my ish. We're going to have a good time, but let's get into it. So it seems that Jay-Z has released an exclusive vinyl with Target for the 30th anniversary of his Reasonable Doubt album. And as with most things, it seems as if whenever Black people are boycotting something, Jay-Z swoops in to go against what we're doing to try to get us to align with the white folks. And if you've been paying attention, this has been a pattern. And if you've been reading the e-files, you know that in the files, they clearly call out that when they want to get the Black folks in line, they just call this man because he has such a hold on the community that will fall in line. But what they don't understand is we're not falling for that anymore. So see, what y'all tried to do was you dropped a little thing with Louis Hamilton, a Black guy. You thought it was going to get us in there, but we don't give no damns about him. And he can go on and be with the Kardashians and live his life. Then you tried to get Jamal Bryant in here, and you thought that him coming out and saying that the boycott was over would make us come back to the stores. And that didn't work because we told you we ain't listening to Jamal Bryant. He ain't running the boycott and we ain't coming back. So now what do? You guys do what you always do, these white corporations. Y'all think that Jay-Z is the answer because y'all swear we love him and Beyonce so much that we will just fold. You bring in the big guns and have him out here and do an exclusive deal with you to try to get Black people back in the stores. And now I'm seeing articles asking, are we still boycotting or not? Yeah, we're still boycotting. We're going to keep boycotting. We're not going back to Target. I don't care who you put in the store. Jay-Z could be there signing photographs himself. And the real ones ain't going back to the store. And if the people do go back to the store, well, we know Harriet would have left a lot of people behind. So they fall into that category. But there is nothing that we're going to do to get us back in the stores. All this is showing is, like I saw another article, every time we boycott, he wants to come in and be the end to that boycott. He did the same thing with the NFL. Came in and swooped in. Oh, we don't need to be doing this. This will be great. And we've gotten zero progress. Matter of fact, there's less Black coaches now than there were probably back then. So we're not falling for this. And honestly, the fact that he would do this and go against what Black people are saying for a boycott tells us everything we need to know about this man. It's money first, Black second. And he had the nerve to have the song, I'm not Black, I'm OJ. Huh. You not Black, you Jay-Z.
Yeah, so the way this lady feel is the way a lot of people feel, right? And like I said, people don't care about what, like if they put Jay-Z out front and then they take they put Jay-Z out front, and that's not going to really end the it's not going to end the strike. But I do think it just goes into, it continues to weaken like the people's public perception of Jay-Z. Same thing like with Jamal Bryant. Like anytime somebody want to take you down, any one of these big corporations, that's what they do first. Like they destroy your image, your public image first. And then so once they put all this stuff out there, people are already doubting you, people are already looking at you sideways and stuff like this. So by the time they decide to bring you in and take you down, it's a foregone conclusion. And I don't know why these artists some of these artists continue to fall for the same play. They build you up and they build you up, and then when they you are no longer useful to them, then that's when all these different allegations come, and then they put you in these type of precarious situations where you have to choose your community over big business, right? And then that's always a big it's going to be a big conflict when you have to choose. All right, I'm gonna side with Target or I'm gonna side with the NFL. Target and the NFL, they know the type of position that they're putting you in as a person when they ask you to smooth that over. Like why if you mean a community well, why, like, and your Target, like, why do you need Jay-Z? All you have to do, if you Target, just go ahead and make it right, because the people have already told you what is necessary to make it right. So you don't need Jay-Z, right, to make it right. You say, all right, you know what? Well, what we did or said was wrong. It was insensitive, and this is what we're going to do to make it right. And you could do that publicly, and you don't even need Jay-Z, right? But you can take. But what they do is they take this opportunity to drive a wedge between Jay-Z and his community. Jay-Z fall for it, thinking that it's going to put him in the good graces of Target. It's going to put him in the good graces of the NFL. But it's just another play. You know, if I'm Jay-Z, I'm very worried when people try to start doing these things, you know, because it could be a sign of more things to come when they start to do these type of things. So, you know, I don't get it. They keep falling for it. So yeah, I mean, just basically just keep a watch on the situation with Jay-Z and see what goes on. Like I said, with and just think about it, with everything that's going on with like Jay-Z and these different allegations out there, why Target, you know, like why would Target want to be associated with Jay-Z? You know, he even lost that like that contract to build a casino because of some things that were out in the public. Now all of a sudden Target want Jay-Z to step in and try to smooth things over. This is this is dirty business, man. This is dirty business, and Jay-Z is in a situation where he's caught in between. I mean, he's not really caught between his community, because the community already know what kind, you know, he'll sell him out. They saw what happened with Jay-Z and Dame Dash. They saw what happened with Jay-Z and how what was the guy named Beanie Siegel was going to court and needed somebody to you know, to co-sign for him to say that, look, I can vouch for him. I'll make sure he's show up for court. Jay-Z said, nah, you know, I can't do that. And then when that was his own prerogative, though. But when things like this get out there, man, you know, and people see you as the kind of guy who will stab you in the back, you know, it's if Jay-Z only, you know, Jay-Z turn his back on his community. Once you do something like that, you better hope that you never are in a position where you'll need the support of your community, because it, you know, look at Puff Daddy, like I said, look at R. Kelly, OJ Simpson. Once you turn your back on your community, man, and they put you in this type of position, it's more to come. I think, you know, it's more to come. They just got so many tricks up their sleeve, man. You know, it's just crazy. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.